The struggle is always going on, but we are trying to. We are doing our best to end the struggle so that we can walk into a glorious future. Yes, of course, it's 29 minutes after the hour of 5 o'clock, and it is, it's just turned 5:30 here in Eastern Standard Time. So if you're on the GMT time, then of course it is now 9:30 where you are, anywhere in West Africa, I do believe. So here we are, all geared up and all ready to receive a very special guest this afternoon, none other than Mr. Ebenezer Batsa. So people, just share the link for us, www.avjamradio.com, and also remember that you can always come back and listen to their past interview. So while you are there gathering and letting people know that we're here, just stay tuned for these few messages, all right?
My sound are the people's sound. My sound are the heavyweight sound. My sound it a jungling sound. My sound make the crowd gather round. My sound it afraid of no sound. Brrr, now me say kill all sound. My sound make them run out of town. Brrr, brrr, kill every sound. Drop my sound are the people's sound. People's sound. People's sound. My sound are the heavyweight sound. People's sound. Touch jungling sound.
Yes, my sound. This is AvJam Radio is your sound. I don't know what you've been listening to, but I do think I'd encourage you, if you haven't been listening to AvJam Radio, then you are missing out, even if I do say so myself. So come on over, yeah? All right, so we do have right here in the studio is Mr. Ebenezer, I think it says Teye Batsa. I do hope I get the pronunciation very well. Good evening to you, Mr. Batsa, and welcome to AvJam Radio. How are you? Hello?
I'm all right. How are you doing?
Yes, good evening to you, sir, and welcome to AvJam Radio. How are you today?
By God's grace, I'm doing well. What of you?
I'm doing well too. I'm doing excellent because I make myself feel excellent, and so therefore I'm living out my dreams by putting the positive things ahead of me. How do you start your day? How do you normally start your day when you get up in the mornings? Do you set goals for yourself? I hope this is not going to be a difficult one because
yes, I have to ascertain.
Go ahead.
Those I wanted.
Pardon me, sir?
Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead and speak.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah, the day was full of expectations.
Okay.
The day was full of expectations.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Hard work.
Okay.
And then at the end of it, I've been able to ascertain majority of my expectations.
Well, that's good. How that's very good for an African man. How does an African you're in Ghana. Where specifically are you talking to me from? Are you in Accra? What's the name of your city?
Accra Senior High Technical School, Odumase Krobo, in the eastern region of Ghana.
Okay, is that where you live? Is that where you're talking to me from now?
Exactly.
Okay. So the eastern region. Okay. So which means that most people, when they hear of Accra, of Ghana, they think of Accra. How far in distance are you from Accra? Like, is it about an hour or 2 hours, or how far are you from Accra?
Barely 45 minutes.
Okay.
Drive.
45 minutes. I see. Well, that's good. That is good. Well, Mr. Ebenezer, today we're so glad to have you on the program here, and we will be talking a little bit about, touching base on a lot of little things. For example, I know I had introduced you earlier when let the audience know that you are a teacher, and then of course you're pursuing a master's in of philosophy in English language, and also that you are the director of the drama club of that's Accra Senior High Technical School in in Odumasi, Krobo, right? And all of those good things. I have introduced you. I have introduced you as much as I could to the audience. So if I have left out anything, or if I have not left out anything, would you like to just introduce yourself to them the way how you would want to be represented?
Oh, I think what you've done is perfect.
Okay, all right. Well, thank you, sir. So we want to talk about, I know you are a school teacher, and then I know also you are a poet and an author. All right. Tell me now, you teach literature, right? In Jamaica, we'd say English literature. Okay, so first of all, why literature? Why not math? Why not social studies? Why not, economics? Why literature?
Thank you so much for such an intelligent question.
Okay.
I prefer to teach literature because literature itself is an aesthetic piece of writing that has a style, form, and it is permanent in nature. When one studies literature, perceive issues.
Okay, I'm listening. I think he's
of issues, tests.
Can you repeat?
It's very great, and
you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay, you cut out a little bit. So could you say the last sentence that you made earlier?
Yeah. Are you in touch?
I am in touch with you. You said that it has a permanent place in nature when you do the.
Are you in touch with me?
Yes, I am. Just go on right ahead. Are you there, Mr. Ebenezer? Stand by for me.
Yes, I am.
Okay. I don't know. Your line keeps cutting out. Is the weather good in Ghana today?
Not all that good.
Okay.
But, I believe we can manage.
Okay. All right. Well, let's manage then, right? All right. So based on what I gather, you're saying literature has a permanent fixture in nature, right? Because art, based on my summary, art reflects life and life reflects art. Correct? So, right? Correct?
That's it. So I am so much into, yes. So I'm so with the literature we have three main genres. That is the prose, the drama, and then the poetry.
Okay.
Yeah, but we also have, you see, teaching of literature these days. Most students do not like reading so much.
Oh.
They are into in WhatsApping, watching movies, and other stuffs. So, by so doing, we want to make the teaching of literature instead of only reading of it, because most of the students hate that reading. We want to contextualize it. We want to make it practical. The contextualization of it. We want to make it practical to their doorsteps.
Okay.
So when we dramatize,
right?
When we dramatize it, when it is recited in the form of a poem, they are able to perceive it. They are able to record them in their memories. And then the more you perform on stage, the more you act, the more you remember.
Yes.
So we want to make the teaching of literature in schools more practical. That is the essence of the drama, the poetry, and other stuffs. So by so doing, this organization, Alpha Promotion, that is your man.
Mr. Brother Sam.
Brother Sam.
You say my man.
Sam and Co. Yeah. They are doing marvelously well.
Oh.
They are promoting such an idea.
Yes.
So some of the secondary schools in Ghana here, we have also embraced such a motive. And truly it is working.
Okay.
It is working. That is the reason I have also stood in firmly. And by God's grace, anytime we go for competitions, my school performs excellently.
Excellently, yes.
The drama, the poetry, like you have been monitoring us and then you've called me. It is true, very true. Accra Senior High Technical School is very vibrant in terms of drama, culture, poetry, and then the rest. Yes. So you see that the students of today, each of them various talents. So if we think of only the reading aspect, the calculation aspect, some might not have such abilities or talents. But when it is it is made practical, when they perform, who knows? Some of them might end up becoming actors, actresses, script writers, radiocasters, news presenters. So we are also preparing them through such door, so that at the end of the day, if you can become a bank manager, if you can become a teacher like myself, you go into acting, the movie industries, and then you can also at least make the ends meet for you. Awesome. Let me come back to the topic, the science of art.
Yes.
The art itself, that is ART, the art itself is the naturally endowed potential, skills, dexterities, capabilities, strengths, gifts that God Himself inculcated into people, into our students. And then the science aspect of it is that with science, that is the study of the structure of an entity, of an activity.
Okay.
The study of the structure of an entity or event.
Yes.
So why science of art, the combination? You see, gone are the days. In the old days, our forefathers gathered by fireside to narrate stories, perform other activities that would entertain them.
Right.
They were doing that very good, but it wasn't so modern. You see, it wasn't so modern. So now we've seen that when we add science, that is this time we are employing the gadgets.
Right.
Sophisticated items, materials, tools. So now when we are telling story, we can record it and then replay. The drama, it can be videoed.
Right.
Even this interview you are granting me, I'm very sure you are recording everything.
Right.
So that at the end of the day, you give it back to me to make my corrections, rectifications. Yeah, others can also have access to it online or whatever. So this is the science aspect of it. We are making use of sophisticated tools, materials to make the old way of art now modern. So now we have a national theater. We have mounted stages where the lighting system, the colorful lighting system,
right,
correct sound system, and other tools are used to enhance the performance, to enhance the visibility, to enhance the enjoyability, so that at the end of the day, the improvement upon the previous ones will be more.
Understand. Let me well, if you are just logging on, we are having a very interesting discussion with Mr. Ebenezer Batsa. He stepped out. Well, I guess we lost him for a second there, but I guess he's right back on. So, Mr. Batsa, let me ask you. So you talked earlier about demonstrating the poetry in a way where the children can relate, where the students can relate to it, right? But outside of just being able to relate to it, I also have a question about identity. Are they able to identify themselves or their ancestors or their future in the work that's been performed? Like, for example, the type of literature that is being taught in the school and the type of literature that they use to demonstrate in poetry and in drama. How is that having an impact on the lives of the students today?
Thank you so much, Madam Dana Wright.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
With some of their tests, because we want to make it practical.
Yeah.
Sometimes we can do adaptation.
Mm-hmm.
So we let them learn the lines of the test, share the lines among the students or the.
Okay. All right, but
they unconsciously learn the test as they perform.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, with the poetry also, as they learn it to recite it, we intentionally make it a competition sometimes.
Okay.
A competition, so that you know that at the end of the day, you are going to be rewarded or certificated. So you go in all out, your head, your legs, and everything.
Okay. I understand that. But I understand. Yes, sir. Yes. Thank you for that. Let me ask you this though. What type of material do they study in, like in literature? Is it, or for example, is it written by African authors or is it Western literature that is studied in the school there?
Yeah. Thank you so much. Our test consists of both foreign and then locally materials. So we give them the names such like non-African prose, non-African drama,
Mm-hmm.
non-African poetry. Then we also have African prose, African drama,
Mm-hmm.
African poetry. So we teach them the two alongside.
Okay.
At the end of the day, that's a WASI time.
Mm-hmm.
They write WASI examinations on them all.
Okay. Understand.
So we amalgamate the two.
Okay, understand.
So you have ideas about African literature, a little ideas about non-African literature.
Okay, thank you. Who are some of the authors, like the non-African authors, from the Western world that you would find in your school? And I'd really like to know, for example, maybe like the name of a book, that's like a literature book that's been used there, and what are the topics in some of those books that the students are reading, because it's important to get history, but it's important to get correct history or corrected history. So if you see where I'm getting from, so if you don't mind, do you off the top of your head know like some of the authors for some of the English literature books that you guys use in the schools down there?
Yeah, we teach we teach this one, Wuthering Height, written by Emily Bronte.
Emily Bronte.
That is a non-African prose.
Is it Brunti? Brunti?
Yes, Emily Bronte. Teye. Then the accent will be on top.
Okay.
Then we have the Fences, also non-African drama.
Okay.
Then we also have the Africans. We have the Wole Soyinka, that is the Lion and the Jewel.
Mm-hmm.
We also have the Second Class Citizen. That's it. It's African prose.
Mm.
In the poems also we have such similar things.
Okay.
Yeah. So we combine the two, so they get the knowledge from the African drama, African poetry, African prose, likewise the non-African ones.
I see. So I see. When you teach literature in school, right, or when it is being taught in school, how does for example, when you look at the Western literature versus the literature that's been taught there from Africa, that has maybe like a Chinua, what's his name, Achebe, you know, that writer. Do you do some of the
Chinua Achebe?
Chinua Achebe, why? Do you use some of his books in schools? And because when I read that book, it talks about the whole culture of Africa. It talks about, you know, the hardships and the successes. It talks about the lifestyles, you know, of the different tribes and the culture and all of those things. So the children, when they're reading, they feel that, oh, I can relate to this. You understand what I'm saying? But when you,
Yes.
if you were to teach like some of the books, like you said, from Emily Bronte and Francis, how are they gravitating towards what's been taught from the Western world, or do you feel that they gravitate more to what's been taught from the African writers?
Yeah, with the similarities are not all that great.
Okay.
With the African ones, because we teach in context, we sometimes use how do you call it? We do improvisation of materials.
Mm-hmm.
So they see it very rare, as if they are part of the order.
Oh, okay.
With the foreign ones, fine. That also we do. Sometimes we do the improvisation as well.
Okay.
But what helps is the movie aspect of it.
Okay.
Some of them we get the movies on those books. So after we read and discussed with the students, then sometimes we watch the movies and then explain, relate it with the text. Now, like you asked, some of the African write-ups, the prose, the poetry, the drama, some, not all, some purposely to register the displeasure of the harsh rule by the colonial masters.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially most of the poetry aspects. Some are used to register the displeasure about the harsh rule of the colonial masters. And though there's no need for revenge, there's a need for healing and then reconciliation rather, so that life must continue.
Okay.
So
Well,
that is the reason we make the teaching of literature in schools practical by dramatization, poetry recitals, those healthy competitions, so that at the end of the day, indirectly, we inculcate the text in the students. So retrieving it again is not all that difficult for them. That is one of our strategies that we are making use of.
I see. I see. How the stories of Africa, in every tribe and language, the stories are told. When they, for example, like in the northern region, they would have I don't know what they call them. To me, it sounds like they're singing. They play the drums and they would chant, you know, the names of kings and the past queens, and they would begin to recite all the history, you know, surrounding, right. So is this a way to preserve the culture and the rich culture of Africa? And do you find that could that be something that you do, that the school does when they teach literature, as also a way to preserve Africa's rich culture in the children and the students?
Thank you so much. That is perfect. It's a way of preserving the culture. Although it is not every aspect of our culture that is very good. Some need modification.
Okay. Well, tell me about that.
Few aspects.
Tell me about that piece of the culture that you don't think is good.
Yeah, let me land. So some few aspects we
need modification, right? So he was saying that some aspect of the this interests me.
So that we teach them in school, we make we do the practical aspect of it so that it is a way of maintaining, preserving the culture for the next generation to also come and lay hand on them. Because if we don't, and we, these adults, we live, then that is all. There will be a cut.
Okay, what as... So this is now 4 minutes to the hour of 6 o'clock, and we are talking with Mr. Ebenezer Batsa. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's a way of acknowledging God and even appreciating nature. Our poetry and drama and other things is a nice way of discovering some hidden aspect of nature.
I believe so.
You said you are interested in knowing some aspect of their culture that need modification.
Right.
Yeah, let me give you just a few. Gone are the days, that is in the old days. For instance, I am a Krubu, a Dangwe, a Krubu. A Krubu, I am a Krubu, yeah. Gone are the days when someone gave birth to maybe twins. It was abomination, highly abomination. So their twins might be taken to the evil forest or somewhere else to be destroyed.
Twins.
But now, due to modification and then enlightenment and then education, and even with Christianity and other, we've got to know that it is not a sin to give birth to twins. So now twins are alive. When they are giving birth to, we rather adore them and then prepare them for life. So I mean,
Is this something that was celebrated in your, that was done in your culture?
That it can be done.
Okay.
Yeah, that's in my culture.
Okay. So let me just say this for the listeners. He was saying when he was talking about some aspect of the culture that needs reformation, or modification, and what the brother is saying that, for example, in his tribe or in his region, if they had twins, one of the twin would be taken to the forest to be left there, because is it that they see the twins as a curse? Is that what happened? So twins were seen as a curse, Mr. Ebenezer?
More or less a curse.
So
highly abomination.
Okay.
But this time with education, with Christianity, with publications, and then with civilization, people have got to realize that no, they are given to us by God. So now we preserve them. When you go to the other tribes, they also have DS.
Right.
They also have DS. So at least the majority of the aspects in our culture are very unique.
Okay, I am intrigued. I am intrigued by this. So if it's when they took the child to the forest, is it like, does it have to be a boy or a girl, or how do they choose which one to live in the forest and which one to keep? How do they choose?
There are two.
Pardon?
There are two will be excommunicated. There are two.
Oh, the two, both of them
will be excommunicated.
So they just bring them there and leave them in the bushes, so maybe animals would eat them or something like that?
Them. Whatever happens to them, you are less concerned.
Oh my.
And the parent,
wow.
It is the rule of the community, the norm of the community. But like I said, with modification, civilization, with time, those things are over.
Yes.
Those things are over.
Do you think, here's now a leading question, do you think that Christianity has civilized Africa or civilized your tribe? Or what is a major role? And I hear you, but I'm just asking you for the sake of the listeners, what is the major role that you think Christianity has played on Africa, and in particular, your tribe?
Yeah, that is in Africa as a whole. And then particularly in Ghana here, Christianity is dominating the other religious bodies.
And why?
And Christianity is dominating. Yes. Because we were ruled by the colonial masters, and then they brought it to us. Mm-hmm. We also checked and we saw that, it is not every aspect of it that is perfect, mm-hmm. but majority of its aspects, it is helping. So now we've got to know that no, there's no need to kill. There's no need to do abortion. There's no need to hate your brother. Mm-hmm. There's no need to backbite. There's no need to be lazy, do hard work. So at least Christianity has come to enlighten Africans.
It
doesn't mean it is 100% perfect. No, not at all. But it has come to enlighten Africans, Ghanaians, and my tribe as well. So like I said, that is the means that some of part of their culture that I see them to be mm-hmm. To be uncivilized are now becoming modernized and modified. So not that alone.
What are
you see, with time, as knowledge is being acquired, people are ascertaining knowledge. People are furthering their courses as education. Mm-hmm. People are now. You will see that you yourself, you'll be able to read, understand, assimilate certain things. But previously, you could see that they were not able to read. So whatever information you carry to anybody at all is quickly assimilated, swallowed, just like that, without making any concrete analysis. Mm-hmm. When education wasn't all that much. But now the world is a global village. So whatever happens in America, whatever happens in London, quickly I can get it now, pick some idea. Now acculturation.
Mm-hmm. So
that you think is very good, you add it to yours, and vice versa.
Okay. With Africa being one of the, there are different kingdoms in the different countries in Africa, right? But I know Ghana has a very old kingdom. I think it's not the oldest, because I think the Ethiopia, that's East Africa, but in the West African region, Ghana being an old kingdom, for example, the Americas, right? The United States is just from maybe a little bit over 200 years ago. Now, Ghana being much older than that, I'm sure that they had architectures. I'm sure that they had a currency, because I know that the seashells used to be the currency of Ghana at one time before the cities came, right? So, what aspect of civilization, apart from the ones with the twins, what aspect of civilization do you think the Western world has brought to such an old kingdom as Ghana?
Okay, so when I'm not all that old, but with book knowledge and then experience, we have the Ashanti Kingdom, we have the Fanti Kingdom,
right?
Then the Gandam,
right? Ashanti,
we are some major kingdoms in Ghana. So, like you said, previously our currency was the cedi,
right? Right. So they
money, it is paper or pen.
Right.
So you see the modification.
Right. But what I'm getting
is that people had to travel on foot, barefooted, maybe 10 miles, 15 miles, 20 miles, barefooted. Now you be in your sandals. You can even get your motorbicycle. Mm-hmm. You can even join a vehicle, a car, or whatever. Even aeroplane is now available. So you see the improvement.
Yes.
So at least they've got something. But it looks as if you were chipping into
Stand by.
that question you asked. I know we will come there very soon.
Stand by. One moment for me. One moment for me, Mr. Batsa. I'm going to just take a break. I'll be with you in a moment. Yes, of course. If you are just logging on, my name is Diana Wright, and you are tuned
where
to
creativity
Jam Radio.
meets ingenuity. Don't want to pay for high monthly subscription, but need to hear your favorite artists on the go? Jam Radio is global, 24/7 global. Whether you're in the high hills of South Africa, Europe, Caribbean, Asia, or US Northern, we are your mainstay. Listen to our interviews, audio, poetry, storytelling, and so much
All right. Wonderful people. We do have a caller on the line. Talking to Mr. Ebenezer Batsa. I hope I'm getting that right. I'm learning. All right. Okay. And we're talking about the science of art, right? We're also looking at literature. We're looking at the Western world and the contribution that it claimed to have given to Africa. We're looking at whether or not it is modernization or civilization, and I think that there's a difference between the two. So, Brother Sam, Brother Adama is on the line. So, Mr. Batsa, just give a moment until Mr. Brother Sam or Mr. Adama speak. So, go ahead, sir.
All right. All right.
Yeah, thank you very much. Interesting topic. I'm greeting my friend, Mr. Batsa. I would just want to make a point concerning the influence of religion on our part of the world in terms of our African culture.
Right.
For me, I have to say that it has, if you look at the king, the effect of foreign this into our African culture, right, has done more harm than good. Let us be blank about some of these things. Yeah. For example, all of not about 90% of Africans bear different names. That is one thing. Identity is very important when it comes to our cultural heritage. Right. So for me, it has changed our names. That's one thing. Once your name has been changed, your way of life will also change. Right. So if you look at it, our forefathers they were praying, of course. Nobody can convince me that the prayers that they were praying was negative. Right. No. Because everybody pray through something or through somebody. Right. You have the Buddhists, you have for me, I believe that we shouldn't have said that or accepted that our way of praying is not culture. It's culture. Every form of prayer is a form of culture. Right. This is what I want to say. If you look at today, if somebody gives birth to a child in Africa I want my son to be called John. I want my daughter to be called Mary. I want my child to be called Wilson, blah, blah. I'm not saying they are not names, but we're introduced to these names. Right. So that is why my history master told me when I was in formal. He said, in the name of religion they came, but under the Bible was the sword. And that is so true. That is so true. They say in the name of religion they came, but under the Bible was the sword. So in other ways, what he was, now that when I grew up, I decided to reflect what he used to tell us when we were in the history class. Yes. That in the name of religion they came, but under the Bible was the sword. That was so deep. Yes. So for me, the negative effect is too much. If you look at some of the advanced countries today, like the Taiwan, the China, and all that. I don't think they throw their traditions away.
No.
Why is it that in so many, if you look at our universities here, University of Ghana, they are studying Chinese. Confucius institution is there.
Wow. Confucius.
We have Confucius institution is there. Why have they established Confucius institution in the previous University of Ghana?
Right.
Do you know why?
Right.
Because we are going to learn everything about Confucius. Once you learn everything about Confucius, you are learning everything about China.
Yes. Yes.
So we have to also have those kind of Pan-African institutions, not only in Africa, but in other parts of the world.
Yes. Yes. And I beg to add, I would like to say, I don't know if China has that African curriculum as part of African culture and literature as part of their curriculum as well, to balance it out, to even it out. I don't know if they, but I feel like
they won't do it there. That's what I'm telling you. They won't do it there. They will only come here to learn the basic because of business.
Yes. Yes. And I don't you think that, or do you think that that has a significant impact on the minds of the Africans today? Because now, like you say, if they change their name, they change their attitude. You learn about Confucius, you're going to throw away what you knew or what you know to now try to form,
Exactly.
for the sake of not losing. Okay.
Once you learn about Confucius,
yes.
You forget about Haile Selassie, you forget about Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, you forget about Michael Garvey, you forget about all those great people.
But why do you think this is being taught? Why do you think Africa, the people, the education board in Africa is allowing this to happen? Why do you not think that they see the damage that is going to happen?
We reorientate our minds. And deliberate effort to say that henceforth, from the primary school or from the basic school, from the nursery, from the kindergarten school, from there up to stage 6, all teachers should teach in local dialect.
Right.
All schools, it should be a deliberate effort.
Right.
All teachers should teach any part of Africa. Start teaching let the foreign language be a secondary matter.
That's right.
So that the child is born, you start speaking the African language, your Ghanian language, your Wala language, your Fanti, your Chi, your Swahili. You start speaking to them until the child will get those basic things, and learn it as a form of education.
Right.
Up to when it is going to secondary, then you start introducing international languages. You see, because at the end of the day, when we start to teach them those basic, our natural language, when they grow up, and they are now going to do translating into English or French or whatever, they will understand.
Yes.
That, this was what it's called. But now, if you come to Africa, for Ghana, for that matter, any part, this is what I'm saying. Ebenezer will support what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If you go to a household, when a child is speaking the local language, a local dialect, and one is speaking English, they respect the one that is speaking English.
Oh. Oh. Yeah. And why is that so?
They think he is intelligent.
Oh. So they look down. It's been, and I think
English will not be a yardstick. English, the English that we have here, which is our official language, it shouldn't be a yardstick of measuring an intelligent person. That's the point I'm trying to make.
Should not. It should not. Because when you
so
go ahead.
So the Africanization that we are talking about, for me, like I said, the basic principle, we can change the narrative if we all decide to say that henceforth our educational institution, we should start teaching that it's compulsory. When I say compulsory, how can language be an option here? Chinese language is not an option in China.
Oh my. Oh my. I wonder the listeners are, Mr. Ebenezer, do you hear what he's saying? He's saying that the language should not be an option, but why English usurped all the other languages, and then it's been looked...
English is a compulsory language from primary school up to secondary schools here. If you fail English, you won't go to university. Why?
Wow. Wow.
If you fail English, Mr. will attest to what I'm saying. If you fail English, you won't go to university.
Yeah.
Why should it be so?
Let me come in small.
Okay, he wants to say something. Go ahead, Mr. Ebenezer. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I believe for now, up to class 3, I think they are being taught in the local language, using the local languages.
Mm-hmm.
But if from the
but it should go to up to
that's
year,
where they use the English.
it should go to up to year 6. It should be compulsory even up to the junior high school level.
One moment, Brother Sam. Let him finish. Go ahead. Yes, go ahead, Mr. Ebenezer.
Yeah. So I know that up to
Stand by,
class 3
Brother
is the
Sam.
local languages.
Yes.
From class 4, that's the upper primary, upwards, the English language is the medium of instruction.
Yes. But go ahead, now, Brother
issue is
Sam.
that, the English language is as of now, it is the official language. So we can't run away from it for now until we ourselves decide to agree that, like what you're saying, that let us use our Ghanian languages throughout. Fine, that is another way of. But for now, that is the official language at the court, public, official gatherings. That's the medium of instruction. So when you deny the child, and then it's time for something like that, you say that the person will be handicapped. You say that this means that we are communicating now is the English language. So assuming I can speak the English language, and you also cannot speak my Krobo language dialect, then it means that the conversation cannot continue. So for now, unless we all come together, and I believe leadership of Ghana is doing something about it. So with time, you can see the other side of it. But he was talking of the culture that the whites came to interact with. Yeah, it's true, but I made an assertion from the beginning that I'm not saying that every aspect of DS is perfect. No. It was some civilization, modernization, fine. But it doesn't mean everything is perfect. So because we see that not everything is perfect, some of ours too is also very good. That is why we are championing ours too. In terms of dramatization, poetry recital, prose, and other activities. So you see that we are championing ours alongside that one. So that with time, ours will outweigh theirs. Yeah, so for now, this is the issue at hand. This is the issue at hand.
Okay. All right, Brother Sam, you want to...
I know with time.
Okay. All right. I hear that. Brother Sam, you want to answer to that?
Yes, I agree with him. Like, we should all agree. But, my sister, what I am trying to say is very simple.
Yes.
Look, it has to be a deliberate effort by leadership.
Yes.
That when you are communicating with your people, a leader is a servant. You have to communicate with the language they understand.
Sure.
I am telling you today, if you take a microphone and go around and teach and ask students questions, even from their home, the parents don't speak the local language to them. That's my point, the point that I'm making.
Yes.
So, if a child asks, what is the local language with the name car, football, studio, I can tell you 99% of today's students don't know.
Wow.
And so they won't know. There are some basic things we have to, even though the world is modernizing, there are people, but there are some things we have to say. Chinese, they don't call car in English in their hometown.
Right.
But they make cars.
I mean,
they don't call car.
This is an eye opener. This is an eye opener, Brother Sam. One moment for me. Sure, Mr. Ebenezer. Let me say.
You are doing well.
Yes, don't hang up yet. Let me say this before you go, Mr. Ebenezer. Hold 1 second. One of the things I wanted to ask both of you, seeing that there are different languages from the different tribes in Ghana, should there be a particular, like one African language, like you would say Tree? I can't say it right.
My sister, let's be very frank. Mr. Ebenezer knows, I also know.
Yes.
In Ghana here, we have so many languages. Yeah? is a cosmopolitan country.
Yes.
So for me, but see, despite that, we all know some of the Akan language is dominant.
Okay.
So and we nobody can insult anybody in Ghana here with Akan language. You know.
Okay.
But we are from different cosmopolitan. I'm not saying we should adopt the Akan language, but that is nearer.
Yes. Understand.
Because if somebody speaks me, the person who is an Ashanti understand. Even I'm a North 100% from the North, but nobody taught me Twi. But I learned Twi by listening because the language is so dominant in my ear.
Oh.
So nobody taught me, but I know it. So I don't know whether you get my point.
I do.
You will see the market women, the farmers, the women, the peasant farmers. If people keep on speaking a language to them, he doesn't need to go to school.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't. If that will be our form of communication, it will work, my sister.
Yes.
It will work.
Understand.
So if I think Chinese they speak Mandara, right?
Yes. Let him finish, sir.
And
He's coming.
you see the Chinese, Taiwan, and all that. But if you go to China, somebody speak the proper Chinese than the Chinese. But they understand.
Yes.
Yes. Maybe somebody speaking Japanese, somebody speaking Taiwan or whatever. They are interrelated. So it's like here. So a tree man can do, an Ashanti man can do business with a Fanti person because the Fanti and the tree, which is the Ashanti, is interrelated.
Oh, I see.
That is why I am saying that if you go to all our commercial activity centers in Ghana here, the dominant language that people use to trade is Akan language.
Oh.
It is undisputable fact.
Okay. All right.
We're all pretending.
So we are pretending. All right, Sir, I thank you so much, Brother Sam, for that. Thank you so very much. I'm going to get back to Mr. Ebenezer, and so please keep listening. If you have another question, then you can also call again. But if you want to stay on the line, that's fine. But let me go back to Mr. Ebenezer.
I'm supporting my brother.
He's supporting you. All right, go ahead. Go ahead.
Like you said, it's perfect. It's true. It's perfect. The issue is that my take is we as parents have a responsibility. So even if the school, for now that the English language is the formal language, official language for the nation, we as parents have a duty, a role to play. So at least at home, let your children speak the local dialect.
Okay.
The mother tongue.
Okay.
Yeah, that is our responsibility.
Okay.
Me, for instance, I do. I know others also do. But when we go back to school, because we go to the same classroom with different backgrounds, then the English language becomes like the lingua franca, the common means of communicating. So now that we have not changed the English from being the official language, we can't run away from it now. But we have that rule to make sure our children get the mother tongue, get the local language, yes, in their pocket, so that when the need comes, we make use of it. Now, you say, like you say, in Ghana here, we have a number of languages. Mm-hmm. So, like you said, we have he said the Akan is dominating in terms of, it's true.
Right.
We also have the Gadangbe, where I also belong to.
Right.
I would also wish that mine is also projected to become a national language. The Everman also wants his to be projected to become a national language. That's the issue at hand.
But let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Seeing that the Akan language is, I guess he say, the most dominant. I don't know if maybe the Akan people are the oldest tribe there, or maybe one of the largest, or from the groups. But as an African, right? Don't you or shouldn't you feel better if an African language was for example, if you go to some other African countries, like Swahili is their language, but they have their other local language, right? As an African, how does it make you feel as an African one? And 2, as an educator, as a teacher, you've done history, you've done literature, because literature is a part of history too. You've done, because it contains bits and pieces of it. And you have read about the colonization. You've read about how gruesome and how what's the word? How cold and how vicious they were to us. As an African and as an educator, also as a father and as a husband, would you prefer that an African language was the national language of Ghana versus English?
Thank you so much. I would.
Are you there?
Prefer. But as of now, that we don't have it, then what we have to hold fast and make sure our local languages are also projected alongside it. I got him, Batsa, when he said the local languages should be made optional in our schools. True. Mm-hmm. It is sometimes optional, but it shouldn't be. At least every community that you find yourself, the local language in that community should be the local language that you do in school. If only you want to study in that community, then that should be the local language for you to study. True, perfect. It will help us. But I know with time, Ghana Education Service will also continue to make amendments, recommendations, and then other. As we are talking now, some are listening. So I know that with time, things will continue to change for the better. It's not easy.
I understand, but I don't think you quite answer the question when I ask you, say, as an African man, as an educator, as a brilliant man, as an African man and a father, would you feel better, yes or no, if the national language was one of the language from the tribe other than the slave master's language? Would you feel better that way, yes or no? You would?
Yes, I would.
Okay. All right. All right. So now, as an educator again, and as a Ghanaian, a born African, a continental African, do you, I'm trying to choose my words carefully. What can the teachers' body or the teachers' association or even the people of Ghana say to the government that, listen, like Brother Sam said, when you go to China, Chinese is not an option in school. That's what they speak. When you go to France, French is not an option. That's what they speak. So what I'm hearing is one person who's advocating for Africa to maintain herself and her culture, because you can grow within your culture. You can become modernized within your own culture. But what I'm hearing is, and then on the other side now, for example, like on your side, you can tell me if I'm wrong. You're saying, okay, you want that to be so, but you accept the English for what it is now as okay.
For now.
But should the local language be an option though? Don't you find that is absurd? That English is compulsory, means that English is mandatory. But the language of the people of the land is optional. Where does that leave you as a teacher and as a Ghanaian?
Yeah, the thing is, I've got you, but it needs collective agreement.
Okay.
And Ghana here, we cherish democracy a lot.
Okay.
It's a democratic nation. So you make your proposal, you project something, you voice it, and another person also counter. So it needs to go through the technicalities. It needs to go through the right channel, the right amendment, before the ultimate aim can be ascertained. So such things are in the process.
Yeah.
And such things are in the process. And then I know that with time, GES will continue to fight for that. So we shouldn't drink the soup out of the fufu.
Drink the soup out of the fufu. That's a proverb. Is it something that you're willing to fight for? Are you willing to fight for the local language become mandatory, and that a language become an African language become the mother tongue of the people, become the language of commerce? Are you willing to fight for that?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
That for instance, my local language should supersede the foreign language.
Yes.
Is that what you mean?
Meaning that like how it's an option. You don't have, if you go to school in Ghana, what I'm hearing is that you don't have to speak the local language as long as you speak English. But what I'm trying to get to you, I don't know how well you see this, or maybe if you can see it from, other people's side, or maybe I'm not getting your side correctly. Because I'm thinking Africa is a continent, right? For example, let me paint a picture for you. I know that Africa is not all unified, and I don't have all the answers. I don't even think I have. I just have some little clues because of, Okay, so in Nigeria, what I understand is that Nigeria has a population of over 360 million people. I think in Nigeria alone, that's just one country on the continent. The population of the United States, I do think, is maybe the same or a little less, or maybe the same, run around that. Ghana has over 30 million people. The rest of countries, African countries, have also in the millions. So, the thing is, if you can see Africa as a world by itself, or do you see Africa as a world by itself? I'm not talking about the problems of Africa. I'm just talking about the possibilities and the fact, like Africa is a world by itself. It does not necessarily need the outside world. The West need Africa. The Western world without Africa, there's no cell phone, there's no cell towers, there's no microchips. The world needs Africa. So what I'm trying to zero in on is how big or how do you see Africa versus the Western world? How do you see them?
Thank you so much for such a wonderful question. Yeah, I perceive Africa as a world on its own.
Okay.
That's it. Going forward, we can.
Mm-hmm.
We can. I do advocate for that. We can.
Mm-hmm.
So when we consume our own commodities,
right,
when we wear our own clothing, when we speak our languages,
mm-hmm,
when we make use of our raw materials and other things, when we become independent,
mm-hmm,
self-sufficient,
right,
we can. But it calls for agreement. It calls for collaboration, teamwork.
Awesome.
So it will take a little time for that. But I know that not all too soon, very soon, such a thing can be done. It doesn't mean that we will not need help from the foreign countries, like we just said.
Mm-hmm.
We need, but we can be on our own,
mm-hmm,
as a world on its own.
Awesome.
It is possible.
Awesome.
And that when you follow my poems and other things I've been writing, it's the gear towards that. The gear towards that we can make it.
Awesome.
We can make it with one accord. In one accord, we can make it.
More.
Teamwork, collaboration, we can make it.
Okay. What I would like, and I don't think Africa is very far from it now, based on what I'm seeing. Do you like, for example, what's going on in Burkina Faso? I'm not going to bring you in politics, but if you are an educator, then technically you are in politics, because the education of our children is politics. You see, they make it in such a way that the children have what they need to serve the ones who are in power. So it is politics in a way, if you understand what I'm saying. Right?
Okay, yeah.
It is. So,
I've got you.
Yeah. Burkina Faso, do you like the movements that's going on in there? How do you see Ghana in the next, as an educator? Because you're dealing with children, you're dealing with the future. You have the future in your hands because you're teaching them. So, when you compare Burkina Faso to Ghana, do you like what's going on in there? Would you like to see Ghana on the rise in terms of the way they think and move and try to be independent of the foreign countries?
Yeah, that is very true. So we need to be independent, like you just said. So we need to educate our children, prepare them, nurture them to be self-sufficient. By so doing, we will be able to do things on our own. You see, Africa, Ghana specifically, we have been endowed by a number of natural resources. A number of natural resources. And even the human resources we have. So when we all agree, when I go, I come back to say that when we agree, when we all agree, when we stand up, when we get a wake-up call, this is a wake-up call, collaboration, teamwork, we can do it. And our children, younger ones, will get to know that self-sufficiency is the best. It's the best way to go. So I support that. Not necessarily fighting, not necessarily routing, but through the right means.
I see. What is one of those right means that you think? And I'm not, being petty. I'm just asking you, because I know my listeners they're listening. They want to know what are some, because, peace doesn't bring peace. So in reality, when you look at Marcus Garvey, when you look at Sojourner Truth, when you look at, Kwame Nkrumah, when you look at, peace doesn't come by peace. It's going to take somebody to stand up and to speak their truth. Right. So what means do you have in mind to bring about?
The right means I mean here is like I've started doing. Let's just put certain things into writing.
Okay.
We have what is called satire.
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 Right.
A piece of writing used to ridicule wrongdoing of
Understand.
society and individuals.
Yes.
So you see, the pen is mightier. So when we put them into writing, into poetry recitals, in prose, dramatization, we are inculcating such a character into the children.
Okay. So
not necessarily going to route. Yeah, that's what I mean. I was talking about that the right means. Let's put it into right. By God's will, now we can read, we can read, we can write, we can make analysis. So let us channel it through writing. Let us register our displeasure through writing, poetry recital, dramatization, and then education. By so we will get there.
Do you have?
We'll get there.
Yes, sir. I understand. Do you? And I look forward to that day too. Do you have a poem? Of course, I'm going to ask you to do about 2 or 3. But do you have a poem that's in direct relation to what you've just spoke about? Using satire to get across a thought. Okay. Would you go ahead and read one for us and tell us is it in your language? I don't mind if it's. The thing you'll notice about me, when I have guests, I always ask them to speak in their language at some point, even before they go, because I believe that it just right. So
anyway, I will speak my language when we are getting to the latter part.
Okay.
What I have, the poem is: a heartless monster has arrived. A heartless monster has arrived. Have you got it?
Yes, sir.
Now the title of the poem: a heartless monster has arrived.
Yes.
It's very lengthy, so I'll take only the first, second stanzas.
Okay.
At dusk, when the tables are set and shadows vanish, at the oblivious and blind side of so-called satisfaction, then a handsome, devouring creature strangely appears, with its eyes aglow like embers bright. It rises up from within and among us, not from far-fetched. With mighty might, it is safe from control, and rather, it is motivated. Its amalgamated skills and fare appear as black as white, but darkest than the nightfall in Soweto, South Africa. Stanza 2. Its roar resounds like it takes a claim for a protective dominion, for an evil reveal. Its heart afire and hardened with malicious spite. it gains grounds forth with freedom. Then the darkness and endless night fall. Its presence
Ooh, are you there?
As its purpose is to lure, conquer, devour, kill, and finally destroy.
That's a
The
beautiful.
last stanza over there, it is dramatized. The last stanza is dramatized. So the one who is reciting will ask, another person will come on stage in a monstrous appearance. So the reciter will ask you, who are you? What is your name? Then the monster will say, my name is.
That
My
will.
name is illegal mining. So you see?
Okay.
So you see?
Yeah.
You see what I have put on paper.
Yes.
So it's a way of telling us that something has come into our midst from the foreign world. Previously, those illegal miners and those we didn't know anything about it. Previously, corruption in Africa, you dare not to practice corruption. You dare not. We didn't know, but now someone can take pen and add 10 to 100 cities, 1,000 Ghana cities. You see? So you see, a heartless monster has arrived from somewhere else into Africa, and we ignorantly accept it and protect it. You see?
I see.
We defend it, rather.
I
So
see.
you see the way I've been channeling my issues through writings. So you read, you understand. You read, you perceive. We dramatize. By so doing, we are inculcating something into our children. That though the civilization, the modernization is good, like I said, fine. Yet, our culture should not be cut off.
I understand.
Our prestigious values, the moral aspect, the attitude that we came to inherit from our forefathers, our foreparents, should not be erased off. So you see, so we channel such things to writing, that like a satire, poems, dramatization, and
That was well done there, Mr. Ebenezer.
so like I've written this. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I'm saying that was a beautiful piece there. Let me interject a little bit. So one of the listeners, his name is Prince Dogbe. He says, I'm really enjoying the interview. And then he said, Uncle has a great point. He says, I'm just reading what he's sending to us at the message here. It says, using local languages as the sole medium of instruction in basic schools can have numerous benefits. Firstly, it enhances cognitive. I will answer you in a minute, Brother Sam. It enhances cognitive development and comprehension as student learns best in their mother tongue. Secondly, it preserves cultural heritage and promotes community engagement. Additionally, it can improve academic performance, increase student participation, and foster a stronger sense of identity and belonging. By teaching in local languages, we can create a more inclusive and effective learning environment that values diversity and promotes academic excellence. This is well written, and this is from Mr. Nkem Prince Dogby, a Ghanaian listener. That's the message that he sent in.
He is not mistaken at all. Mr. Dogbe is not mistaken at all. What he has written is perfect. It's correct.
Yes.
Just that my argument is that as of now that the English language has not been taken away, being our official language.
Yes.
There's nothing we can do for.
Yeah, one moment for me. So Brother Sam is calling. I'm getting another call again. stand by for me, Mr. Ebenezer. 1 second. Let me just answer the call and I'll just put him on hold and then you can continue. Thank you for calling AFJAM.
Thank you.
Yes, Brother Sam. Just 1 moment for me, caller. Let Mr. Ebenezer finish his thought. Just he was on a thought. Just let him finish, and I come right. And I come. Just stay on the line, please. Yes, go ahead, Mr. Ebenezer.
Yeah. So what Mr. Kadogo has just sent to you is perfect. Is correct.
Yes.
Using the Ghanaian languages, our Ghanaian languages in our schools.
Yes.
Is perfect.
Yes.
But now it is up to, I think, class 3, lower primary.
Yes.
From upper primary, class 4.
Yes.
Is a policy. So when the policy comes, one person cannot just get up and say, no, I will avoid it. No, it is impossible. So we all comply for now. You see, collaboration, I've been talking of collaboration, teamwork, unity.
Okay.
So with time, then we continue to work on it, to overturn it.
Okay.
That's it. You wanted me to speak my local dialect to some of my people right here.
Not just yet. Let me take this call from Brother Sam. Go ahead, Brother Sam. Go ahead.
Oh, all right.
Hello?
Yes, sir. You can go ahead. You're on the line. You're on the air. Go ahead.
I should speak now.
Yes, sir. You can go ahead and speak. Yes. He's the Mr. Ebenezer can also hear you, so go right ahead. So we have a caller online, and he's from Ghana. Of course, he's calling to make another comment or so, but for some reason, I guess there's a little disconnection. Just Mr. Ebenezer, stand still for us. Just stand by. We are still here. This is a very, very interesting discussion here on AFJAM Radio this afternoon. We're speaking with Mr. Ebenezer Batsa out of Ghana. He's an educator. And yes, he is the director or president of the drama troupe at Accra Senior Technical High School. We seem to have lost the caller a while ago, but I'm trying to locate him again. Just stand by.
My sound are the people's sound. My sound are the heavyweight sound. My sound it a jungling sound. My sound make the crowd gather round. My sound it afraid of no sound. Brrr, now me say kill all sound. My sound make them run out of town. Brrr, brrr, kill every sound. My sound are the people's sound. People's sound. People's sound. My sound are the heavyweight sound. People's sound. Touch all the sound. The people's sound. People's sound. The heavyweight sound. People's sound. The people's sound. My sound make them run out of town.
Finally, radio.
Yes, of course, it is now 47 minutes after the hour of 6 o'clock, and we are still riding the waves here of the science of art. Art, like we said earlier, art mimics life and life mimics art. And our very, very special guest this evening is Mr. Ebenezer Batsa out of Ghana. And it's been it's been very good. It's just been beautiful. We're here talking and then we're getting the text messages and the calls and so on and so forth. So if you do have a question, you can text it in at 704-964-5346. I think I am getting the caller to call back. Good afternoon. Welcome to AFJAM Radio. This is Between the Lines. Good afternoon, Brother Sam. Caller, are you there? I think, okay, Mr. Ebenezer, you can go right ahead. If he comes in, then we can just pause and let him say what he has to say. Go ahead, Mr. Ebenezer.
Yeah, so like Stan was saying, it can be done, but we need to be very strategic.
Yes.
So when the policy comes, one person cannot just get up and say, I have avoided it. It is impossible. So if care is not taken, it will look as if we are revenging on our colonial masters straight away. And so this time we don't need a revenge, physical revenge, no. But we need to rather heal the wounds and then do reconciliation. Mm-hmm. You see, so we can all make amendments and then forge ahead.
I'm interesting to know. I'm very curious to know how the healing process. What form? What methods are we going to use to heal ourselves from decades of pain, and it's still going on now. For example, what you've read or what the students have read in the history books, when you look at the reality of what, the people went through in slavery on this side of the world, it is nothing compared to what you have read. You understand what I mean? When you're talking about people being raped, people being hung alive, the same slave master that raped the mother, raped the son, raped the daughter. This, your 5-year-old is being raped. When you look at how some of the things you read about, and their bellies, the pregnant woman the bellies were cut in two, and the fetus falls out. The men were sodomized, cut off their private. What they have, I don't know if those stories are in the books there. So when I always wanted to know, how does Africans see us in the diaspora? And that's why literature is so important, because the story that is being told has to be told correctly. It has to be the correct story or a corrected story, and that's where you come in. That's where you come in. Go right ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm trying to get this. Go ahead.
Thank you so much, madam. Yeah, so the healing process, we don't need to revenge. We don't need to retaliate. But the process can be, the truths must be told to the next generation.
Yes, caller.
If they are aware of it, the truth must be told.
Yes.
To the younger ones and to the next generation.
Yes.
So if the truth is told, it means they are aware of what they did, and we are also going to absorb the shock.
Yeah.
If we are able to absorb the shock, it's a way of healing. It's a process of healing and then reconciliation. Also, when we do cultural exchange, sometimes the whites visit Africans or Ghanaians. Anytime we celebrate our festivals and other programs like this dramatization issues,
you there?
We can do cultural exchange where students from there can visit our school or visit our country or regions to observe what we do. Then some also can also be transported from here to the place. So what?
Are you there? I'm listening, Mr. Ebenezer. I guess the line is mixing up somehow now. Yes, of course, this is a very, 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 very interesting, a very interesting.
If they have realized they want to compensate, that we are sorry of what we have done. We have taken a majority of your minerals. We have hurt your people.
Yes.
Do something for us, building museums, building schools, road construction.
Good evening, Brother Sam. I'm listening, Mr. Ebenezer.
It's also a means of healing. Yeah. It's a means of healing the wounds, and then reconciliation can be done.
Yes.
So we have a number of things that we can all do. We can all come together to do it.
Yes.
As a unifier. And then the wound will be healed.
I want to ask you something. Go ahead.
But the truth should not be hidden. Shouldn't be in the hidden.
I'm happy you said that.
Yeah, the reality must be available.
Yes.
So when we get to know, like you were saying, yeah, we can absorb the shock, and then we forge ahead, rather.
Yes.
Than to be hiding it for the next generation to discover. That is where it's going to explode.
Yeah.
But when it is bare, we are aware of it. Now that your nose, there's no cover on your nose. There's no cover on your ears. There's no cover on your forehead. People will look at it. You don't feel shy. You also watch others. They also don't feel shy. But when you begin to cover those areas, the day you unveil danger, it will look as if something has happened. You see, so the truth must be bare, like we are discussing in our history books and literature books. It must be there for them to read, to learn, and then assimilate and absorb the shock. So that with time, you see, time heals. Time heals. So with time, the healing process will continue. But we shouldn't do other things that will quickly aggravate the pain. You see? So with time, I know that it is possible, and we can make it.
I understand.
We can make it.
I
In
understand.
one accord, we can make it.
I understand. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
One of the questions I want to ask you, sir, there is a, I think it's at a church in somewhere in Accra. There, I don't know if you're aware of it. It's a big statue of a white angel with a sword, and he has his foot or his neck on the black man. He said that the black man is the devil and the white man is the angel, and there's a sword. How does that make you feel as an African man? How does that make you feel in your country? It is in your country, and it's there. It's been there from a long time, and nobody removes it. Does it bother you as an African, or does it bother you?
Mm-hmm.